Good evening, good afternoon, dear friends, dear fans and followers. We already started. This is Social Talks. We are back with our autumn editions. And my name is Olga Prihodka, and I have today a very beautiful, extraordinary, gorgeous dancing diva, Shani Talmor from Israel, who is right now in Puerto Rico. Hello, Shani.
Hello. How are you?
I'm not as good as you. I'm in Kyiv, sit in my apartment, and I see this beautiful view right now where you are. So I think you are doing much better than me.
A little bit better.
But in these days, if people are healthy, this is very good.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm very, very happy to see you.
Thank you.
I'm very grateful to Salsa that I had an opportunity to meet you in person in 2009 in Israel, in your motherland.
My country.
Yeah, your country. So it was a great pleasure to meet you there. So I'm very happy that you found time to join us, to join our
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure, and I'm so happy I can share and have a little conversation and, connect.
By the way, Shani is amazing dancer, and she has so many projects. So I will try, guys, to find so many questions, and we'll try to discuss as much as possible, because your projects are so different, various, and so many. So we will try to. And guys, please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. We will have a lot of interest in here. Thank you very much for joining us, and let's start. My first question will be, I know that you started dancing from the age of 7 onwards.
Yes.
So you may say that you are dancing from your birth.
More or less.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask you, how you decided to start dancing? Was it parents, or it was your decision as a girl? I want to dance, be a dancer. So why you decided to go dance?
So when I was a little girl, I always used to move. I had a lot of music in my family. My dad used to play a lot of music at home, and my mom used to play a lot of music. And we always used to do like trips and just be around music a lot. And I used to always like move and sing. I used to stand on the table and just like pretend I'm like this famous singers from Israel that I used to really love. And my mom used to say, oh, she's like, you can tell that I have like a very musical ear and I react really well to music. So she decided to put me into, a dance studio that was by my house, that was very good dance studio. And I just started dancing. I also played piano for a long time, not piano, organ for like 7 years. And then I just kind of shifted just to dance. So I've always been like involved with music and dance. So as the years went by, I just like evolved and found my nook into the salsa world more and more, but that's later on. But that's how basically I started dancing. I always like was attractive to sound, to music, and then my mom put me into dance.
But you already started dancing salsa in Israel, right?
Yes. So I started dancing salsa in the age of 16 and maybe 16, I would say. I was already a dancer, so I danced like jazz, ballet. I did contemporary work a little bit, not so much, so I don't want to say contemporary because I don't feel like I mastered it. But jazz and ballet was my strength. And I danced salsa around the age of 16. I started dancing salsa. And once I started dancing salsa, I completely shifted to salsa. I was so involved with it, and it went so fast. So within a year and a half, I was instructing, one of the main instructor in Israel, and I was teaching, and I was going to congresses. And the age of 18, 19, I was doing all of that. And then the age of 19, it's end of 19 towards 20 is when I left Israel and moved to Spain to dance with Johnny. And that's how the salsa career really like professionally really kicked off.
But when you first heard the music, did you like it? I mean, salsa music, because some of my guests in my previous editions, and they said, some musicians, even Ricky Campanelli, Fabrizio Zoro, they said, at first, I didn't like the music, actually. I said, why?
Oh, wow,
really?
That's very interesting. No, I did love it. So that's like I said, my dad used to play a lot of music at home. So I used to be very exposed to different type of music. So I used to listen to my home. I used to listen to country music. I used to listen to Greek music. My dad used to put Latin music. I used to play jazz and rock and roll. So I was always like very exposed to different type of musics. But so when I was exposed to salsa as well, but not knowing that that's a salsa. So when I started dancing salsa, and I went to, well, the way I was really introduced to salsa is I was at the beach in Israel hanging out, and they were playing salsa. And because I was a dancer, I told my friends, "Oh, let's go and like fool around over here." And we were like, la 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 la, just doing nothing really. And one guy came up to me and he said, they teach at this studio. They should go. And I said, "Oh, well, let's go." So we start going 3-4 days a week. And when I first started listening to the music, I don't know, it was just, I think it was love at first sight. It just spoke to me. It was like it touched my heart and just spoke to me. I felt very connected. I felt very um it just, I don't know, I like to say that I'm Latina at heart, because I just like I hear the music, and there's not a vein or a muscle or like anything in my body that doesn't want to move. So I did liked it from the beginning. I love drums, I love trumpets, I love horns, I love, so I was very attractive to the big sounds of that music produced. And salsa have like a lot of horns, a lot of, like drums and timbales, and like that, really like that strength of the drum, like really, really, I love it. So I fell in love with salsa from the very beginning.
And when you first time met Johnny Vasquez, I know that you started your professional career with their company, but how this meeting happened and how you decided to join them.
It's actually super funny story. So me and my friends from Israel, we were the big instructors, like not big, known instructors in Israel. And we were young, we were 19 years old. So we used to save money a whole year so we can fly to one Congress a year, so we can take advantage of the big instructors that came from different countries so we can learn. So basically, I went to London. It was UK Salsa Congress in Bognor Regis. It was 2003, if I'm not wrong. And we took all the classes, and then I saw Johnny, and I knew who Johnny is because Johnny was very, very known and big in Israel. So I took Johnny's workshop, and then I saw Ramon Morales, which was also part of the company at that time. He was watching me dancing. Oh, I see the photo. It's so cute.
Yeah.
So that's my family. So I saw Ramon watching me, and then Johnny danced with me a couple of times during the evening, and he danced with me a lot. And he started asking me questions like, "Where are you from?" And I said, "I'm from Israel." He was like, "Oh, you dance really good. Would you consider moving to Spain and dance with me?" And I thought he's bullshitting. Sorry for my words, but I thought he's like not being serious. And I said, "Yeah, sure." And I said, "Here's my email." At the time, it was email, right? I gave him my email, and then he started emailing me, and we started talking in emails. And then he said, "Send me videos of you dancing." And at the time, because I was already performing and teaching in Israel, I had a lot of videos. So I sent him videos in email. And then he said, "Send me your cell phone number." So I sent him my cell phone number. And then one day he called me, and it was really funny because he goes, "Hi, this is Johnny." No, he goes, "This is Vasquez, Johnny Vasquez." And I always felt like it was like Bond, James Bond. And I was like, I remember being with the phone and said, "Oh, like, okay, like Johnny Vasquez is calling me. That's crazy." And he said, "Do you want to come dancing with us? It will be for living with us in the house." And he talked to my dad. He said, "You tell your dad that I'll take care of you. I'll protect you. You're gonna be like family." And basically, that's what I did. I moved to Spain. And I thought it's going to be like a 3-4 month situation, and it turned to be 3 years. And all the company later on shifted to Italy. We had a lot of a movement, but it was a dream. It was a dream come true.
But you were dancing with them on one, right? Salsa on one.
Dancing on one. Actually, in Israel, I started dancing on one and Cuban style. I didn't dance on two at all at that time. I started learning on two when I was already traveling with. I mean, I knew on two before because we had it in Israel. But I didn't like, it wasn't like my thing, I danced on two for whoever wanted to dance with me on two. Like when I went to a Congress to perform with Johnny, and we had Santo Rico come over, Descarga Latina come over. At the time it was Descarga Latina, Nelson Flores, Santo Rico. And Yamule came later. But at the beginning, that was the big two teams that came from New York to dance with us. And some other couples, like Juan Matos used to come there with Kimberly Flores and dance. And those are the people I used to dance on two with, but I wasn't considered myself at that point as an on-two dancer. So I knew how to dance on two, but I remember all the people from Santo Rico used to tell me, oh, you feel so good dancing on two. It's crazy because you're an on-one dancer. And I just, like, for me, it was always just, like, about to follow. Sorry, there's, like, a little mosquito. To follow, not really, like, on one, on two. I was just like, I'm just following you. I'm just vibing off you. I'm connecting with you. So I just go in with the timing you decide. And, yeah, but I was on one dancer and Cuban at the first. I used to teach Rueda and do all the Cuban stuff. And then on one, of course, the LA style was very dominating in Israel. At that time.
Was that difficult for you? I mean, to shift on two because you moved then to New York City.
No, that's what I was saying. It wasn't really hard for me to shift on two because in the congresses I used to dance with all the on two people, and I always it's very strange because I always kind of felt like I heard the on two timing very obvious. It will always. I have a very musical ear, and I always used to feel the on two very much. So when I used to dance socially. Like I would perform on one and I would teach on one, but then I would go to the social. And let's say at that time in Paris Salsa Congress was very heavy on two. So I remember being always dancing on two with everybody. And I always just felt like perfect on beats. Like I never felt like I was struggling with the timing. I never felt like them. Sometimes I see people that they dance on one for so long. They want to jump into the one so much. I never felt that because I was just like, also very much connected to my partners, and my partners at the time were really good partners. Like I danced most with, I don't know, for me it seems like they were very good partners, even not the instructors, not the performers, but even Juan Matos, like he was a big influence on my own two timing, let's say, because I used to dance with him a lot in congresses, and he used to tell me always, stay closer, you're so far. So like that's the struggle that I had, because on one we used to be like,
yes,
and one,
yes, and one.
So I used to do that.
You moved to States. You moved to States. I mean, was it difficult for you to make this decision? Are you a spontaneous person, or you like weigh your decisions? Because to move in from one well-known, famous company to the States.
Yeah. It was a big shift and decision in my life, but I felt like it was very necessary. I felt like it was the time. So I danced with Johnny for 3 years. Our company shifted from Spain to Italy. We lived a year in Italy. It was awesome. And then at that time, it just felt like I wasn't getting any better. I felt like I'm getting stuck and I wasn't growing anymore. And I felt like I needed to change. Like, I feel like our bodies, I'm very spiritual. I'm very holistic, let's call it. So I go a lot with what I feel, vibe, energy, and guts. That's my 3 goes, like indicators to see, like to make a move, right? And at that time, I just felt like I needed to move. Like I didn't feel like I can stay in that company anymore, even though they're family to me. Like Johnny is family and will always be. So I made a decision to leave the company, and I left, and I actually went back to Israel. And I was in Israel, and I even told my parents, okay, I'm back. I'm going to settle in Israel. I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to start teaching here in the dance schools in Israel. And a month went by, and I literally was like, I'm moving to New York. I just decided to get up and go, and it just felt like the right decision. And that's how I moved. And I love New York. I always loved the style, the timing, the dancing, and everything. And I loved always New York because of the Broadway aspect. My dream was always to dance on Broadway since I was a little girl. So it just felt the right move to do.
I see. So you started working with a Caribbean soul.
Yes. I started working with Ismael Otero in Caribbean Soul. So Caribbean Soul was a very known company as well. This is not the company I mentioned, but they used to come a lot to Europe while I was dancing with Johnny.
I found that video.
Yes.
It's like those, right?
Yes, one of the later shows we created with this is Alex Morel right here and Adrienne. So Ismael at first, he was just like, he just kind of splitted his company at that moment when I moved to New York. And I remember telling Ismael, hi, I'm moving. Well, Ismael was my friend. We were really close. And I remember telling him, hey, I'm moving to New York. So do you want to maybe dance together? And literally he was like, hell yeah, I want to dance together. And it was a perfect timing because he didn't have any company. So basically at that time, it was just me and him. Exactly. And we made a lot of shows, just me and him. And we established ourselves as Shani and Ismael with Caribbean soul dancers. And then we had more Alex join us and other people join us and become the new Caribbean soul, because the old school Caribbean soul was like Grisel Ponce and Chachi and all these other beautiful dancers. But yeah, so at the time I started dancing with Ismael, and then later I was just more exposed to the New York.
And you were and one of the very significant, I think, steps in your career. You're dancing with Mr. Eddie Torres.
Yes. So then Eddie, exactly. So after 3 years dancing with Ismael, I think it was we got to a place that again we felt a little stuck, and the things were not fluidly going. You know, it's normal. It happens in every partnership. And at that time, I decided to leave Ismael company, Urban Soul, and Eddie. It always happens how it should, right?
Yes.
It happened the way they should.
At the right moment.
At the right timing, exactly. I went, my friend from Spain actually visited me and told me, Shani, let's go to Eddie's Sundays class. And I said, oh my God, you know what? I should, because I already at that point lived in New York for like 4 years, and not once I stepped a foot in Eddie's class, which is shame on me. And so I went to Eddie's class that one day. Of course, me and Eddie already had a relationship and we knew each other. And Eddie goes to me, oh my God, it took that long for you to come into class? And I said, no, I'm sorry. I felt so embarrassed. And he goes, okay, I want to dance with you. You want to dance with me? Do you want to dance with me? And I said, are you still dancing with Ismael? And I said, no, actually, I am not. So that's how we started dancing. It was just perfect timing.
How do you think this cooperation influenced your career? Besides traveling, you were traveling before as well.
Yeah, I was traveling a lot before, but obviously with Eddie, it was, first of all, I was exposed to a different type of mentality and work. Like Eddie is having his, the way he works is just a little different than all other companies. So I was very exposed to that aspect and passion and love of the dance and the music. Obviously, Eddie is a legend and el maestro de todos, you know, he's the master of everything. So, and everybody. So he was he influenced me in the seeing the salsa from a whole different aspect, from the roots, you know, from the history of it. And it gave me a lot of background to everything that I've been doing so far, and like kind of validated all my opinions and my feelings and my thoughts. It validated it and like and grounded it. So I was able to connect that. That's one. And as far as traveling, of course, it exposed me to so many people and so many, you know, countries, and it was just absolutely a dream to work with him.
I'm right now making negotiations with Mr. Eddie Torres regarding our interview, and I already received his confirmation, but now we need to think of the date. So I also very excited and hope we will fix the date, because I'm sure he's very busy and have.
Oh my God. Eddie's an amazing interview. He has all the stories. He can talk for hours.
Yeah, probably we will need to book a day.
Yes,
the whole day. Yes. So I already have a question from the audience. So you had numerous dancing projects with various outstanding artists. Mm-hmm. And what do you think made you exceptional as a follower, that so big names wanted to dance with you? I mean, wanted to cooperate with you.
Wow, that's a great question. Who asked this?
The guy is Patrick Favai. I don't know which country, Patrick. But here, yeah.
Well, Patrick, that's a great question. It's kind of funny for me to say this about myself, but I feel like there's a certain level in your career that you have to also know your strength, right? And you have to know you have to like give yourself credit. So I think that is, that will be that I'm very adaptable. I'm capable to adapt to a lot of styles. So it's not like I have my own style and I have my own like um way of moving, but I'm very capable of adjusting to each style that I'm dancing with or whoever I'm dancing with. So if editors wanted to me to do stuff certain way, I was able to execute it. If Johnny wanted me to do stuff that way, I was able to execute it. And it's obviously completely different styles. Same thing with Ismael. Ismael wanted to dance with me because he knew I can do jazz, I can do hip hop, I can do ballet, I can do tricks. I love fast footwork. I can dance slow. I can dance fast. So I think that's what like Ismael was like. And I also dance with Siku McMiller. So Siku is more like the Latin jazz Afro roots. And that was like, that's also kind of like what I came from with my background as well. So I think what made me exceptional in for people to like different type of dancer wanting to be my dance partners is that I'm very adaptable. I'm very easy to accept and take on. In the end of the day, I'm gonna say it like this: like I'm not a salsa dancer. I'm a dancer. I'm a dancer. So a dancer has to have a variety of styles, and you have to be able to be versatile, and not necessarily be versatile within the dance styles like jazz, ballet, salsa, hip hop, Afro. No, it's even in the salsa aspect. You can have different type of salsa aspect styles, and I think that's where I am capable to kind of like juggle it all.
By the way, what do you like most? Teaching, performing, or social dancing?
Oh my god, such a hard question. Oh my goodness. I think I am obsessed with teaching. I love teaching. It gives me so much pleasure, and to be able to see people not getting it and then getting it, or like see the process of people growing and know that I was able to like kind of like a piece of clay that you create and modify, and all of a sudden it becomes this beautiful statue or a painter. I feel like that I love teaching. I'm obsessed with social dancing. I love the connection and that bliss point that you get when two people really connect on that level, and it's like without words, it's just like the music and the moves, and like I can almost read their thoughts, like knowing where they're taking me, what to do, and I can react upon it with my moves. So I would say like those are my go-to. I love performing as well. I love performing, but I think if I have to choose, I would maybe say social dancing. I don't know actually, but I don't know. I think social dancing and teaching is my thing, but I love performing.
I see.
It's such a hard question.
Yeah, but actually, I had a very amazing interview with Moaz, organizer of Paris Salsa Congress, and I asked him, "What do you prefer, teaching or performing?" And I forgot to say social dancing, and he said, "I prefer social dancing." So I
He's
just
such a great social
yeah,
dancer. He's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I've never been to Paris, so I said I need to
Oh
go. Yes, I've
wow!
been in Israel, but I didn't go
But not
to
in Paris.
yeah,
So
yes.
funny.
So hope after
Hopefully
yeah
pandemic,
next
after the pandemic is over, you'll be
between
able to go.
pandemics, I don't know whether it will be other. So hope we will be able to travel. So you beside cooperation with male partners, you uh, very often perform as a solo artist, and you also have a project called Shani's Girls.
Right.
Tell about this project, please, about your ladies.
So yeah, so ladies team. I always had ladies team. Since Israel, I always had ladies team. And when I moved to New York, is when I started my ladies team. And I just love the powerful feeling of women dancing in sync on stage together. That comes from my jazz training that we used to jazz companies, and we used to like hit the same steps. And I really like the unicity of togetherness and everybody the same. So that's really my thing. I really love that. So I created this Chinese Girls I don't know how that name came about. Really, I can't remember. I just remember that I wanted to say like, those are my girls, like my girls. It's not like a name, a company, like, I don't know, like I'm gonna use a name of a company I was part of, like Imperio Seca or like Caribbean Soul. Like, yes, I get the connection, but for me, I just wanted it to be very like down to earth. Like, those are my girls, and we're dancing together, and we travel together, and so that came about. And I had companies all over the world, but after a while, it just kind of dropped because my focus went to other places, and it was hard to maintain without the help of like an assistant or something, and I just needed to focus more on what I wanted to do at the time. So the companies I have, like, they ended in a great note, and all the girls are like, oh my god, are we gonna start again? And they're dying to dance again. So hopefully now that I'm back in New York, I'll start that again. And I dance as a solo artist as well, which is, at first I didn't like, because I was such a company person. Like, I was like, I need somebody on stage with me. And actually, the person who pushed me to dance alone was Eddie. Eddie is the one who pushed me to dance as a solo. And then I kind of like it. I kind of liked it. I mean, I don't hate it. It's not like I would prefer much having a person on stage with me, but I don't hate being alone. And I kind of like traveling on my own as well. I'm my own like boss in a way, so I can do my own thing. I have my own workshop. I can connect to different people on a different level. And it just feels really like, it feels good to have the responsibility of being your own artist, and like showing up to your workshop, and making up the material, and knowing people are there for you. It feels very inspiring to be able to inspire, and know that the people that's not maybe the word, but people look forward for your art, for your artistic material. And that feels really, really nice as an artist, and not just like, oh, I'm a salsa dancer and I dance for this company. Not that I look down on that, because I've done that and I would do it again. But I just like, I feel very grateful to be also able to be in the position of being responsible of my own art, and create my own art, and knowing people are there for me, you know, and being able to give that back.
What do you think is it very important for the ladies to feel comfortable on the stage, to feel confident on the stage for the ladies?
Well, or like in general, I think the most important part is that you really understand your body, as far as your measurements and your movements. I mean, sometimes we are trying to do different styles and different moves that are not really look good on our bodies. We just like, I feel like a lot of people sometimes don't look within themselves and see where is my inner voice, where is what I want to bring into the table. Yes, you can have an inspiration. Yes, you can have some guy, girl, whatever, that you love their style and you're kind of following their path. But I think a lot of times people lose their voice. And I think for you to feel confident into the most 100% and be able to execute what you want to execute, you have to be very, very aligned with who you are. And I think the most important part is to be able to love yourself, align with who you are, understand your body length, understand what your body can do and can't do. And so when you look into that, that's where you get the confidence from, because now you're doing what you are the best in, and look the best and feel the best. When you're trying sometimes to be somebody else or go through the footstep of somebody else, it's not necessarily always work. And I feel like that's where the inconfidence come from. I don't know if inconfidence is a word that exists, but that's where you're not confident about, because you're not speaking your own voice. And I think it's very important for people to just really stay connected to who they are.
I see.
To create confidence.
And you perform very often as a solo artist, and it's very difficult to keep the public attention when you're alone on the stage. How do you feel usually when you perform with the solo shows?
Okay, so first of all, I freak out. I always freak out going alone on stage, because it's exactly what you said. It's so hard. I'm by myself. I mean, I have to entertain a whole room of people. Sometimes it's a huge congress. It's like 300, 400, 500 and more people. and I'm alone on this huge stage by myself. So it's super hard. And I think what I do to keep myself calm and connected and make keep people wanted to keep watching me is that I have to enjoy what I do. And that goes to me speaking my voice. All my choreographies is literally what I feel. It's what the music talked to me, how the music made me feel. What is this step? What is that music made that step like that step was born, let's say, because what the music made me feel. It wasn't like I was thinking like, oh, what is the choreography that I saw this person doing? Or oh, this can be like a Suzy Q plus Suzy Q. No. It was me really really connecting to the music and being like, oh, this makes me feel like that. So when I perform, I already build up a feeling that exists within the choreography. Therefore, when I dance it, I'm trying to dance with my heart open. And my heart, I always say, put your heart on the dance floor and leave. Like you're trying to dance, put your heart there and go. It's not, I'm not trying to be anybody else. And sometimes I have shows that I know I was going through something personal and I can see that my performance quality was that level. And I'm like, oh, I look at the videos, I'm like, oh, I remember that day I had an argument with my ex and blah, blah, blah. And I can see that it's like I'm dancing and I'm smiling, but I can see that I wasn't full out or whatever. And it's because I was not 100% connected at that moment to the dance, to the show. So I think the most you can do is to feel really connected and keep the people connected to you, is really be at a bliss point, so connected to what you're doing at that moment. Go on stage, dance your heart out, and go off and get out.
So you from your childhood on the stage, you were performing in numerous TV shows, and I wanted, as a girl, to stop the issue of your beautiful, amazing costumes. You always have amazing dresses, amazing costumes. I'm waiting right now on the screen for the videos, and there is one dress. I remember I was watching. We will see this one. This one. Oh my God! I was watching it live. I don't remember at which Congress. Either El Sol, or maybe
Sol in Croatia, in
maybe Istanbul as well. I remember
Istanbul and Croatia, and
so
in Istanbul and in El Sol, I was performing that.
I was like watching it with open mouth because this dress was like put a spell on me. So, and you have so many beautiful costumes. So who is the designer? How you find this? I mean, inspiration, which costume to make, which color to take? You have a special person who is making dress?
No, so I don't have a special person to design my costumes. No. I always look for inspiration myself. I always sit on Instagram. Well, now it's Instagram, but at the time it was just, Google, and or Pinterest, or I would just look at photos online, and I would just save the photos. And I have a whole folder full of photos of different costumes from people, or general stuff, or even a dress that I bought. And I was like, oh, I really like this design, but I wonder if I can cut it this way and add stones this way and add a stripe this way and da. And or I would like the white costume that you said that you showed. This is one of my favorite costumes. Literally, I'm not selling that one because I'm obsessed with it. But that's a costume that I always said I want a white costume full of stones, but I need to think of something very, very special.
Another one. I mean, I will just this one. I mean, this dress we were talking.
This dress, yeah. And I remember seeing something online that had like a net, like this, like a net, like it looked like a fish net.
Yes, like a fish net.
Like a fisher net. And I remember thinking like, oh, that would be dope if it would be like just looking like I'm wearing a big fish net under a bodysuit and just like fill up that with stones. And I showed Eddie and I was like, and then we can add like a color to it, like the red. And so we added the flower and we added the red shoes. And basically that costume is, it's just ideas that I have. Like sometimes I see like I see wedding dresses and the designs or the structure is what I'm taking from it. So I'm saving that picture and then I'm taking it to the seamstress or to my friend that draws. And I'm like, can you draw this? Can you add like, can we cut this to a low back? Can we make this like a heart shape or whatever, stuff like that. So that's where the inspiration comes
and
from.
okay, about dancing shoes. How many dancing shoes do you have? How many rooms you have for dancing shoes? And
You don't even want to know. Actually, I have to really make an order on my closet because I have old dance shoes that I'm not wearing anymore, but they're in good shape, and I feel bad throwing them away because I'm like, maybe I can use this for rehearsal. Maybe I can give this to somebody. But I have a lot of dance shoes. I love dance shoes. I love shoes in general.
I want to stop on this video. I'm sorry to interrupt you because this is shoes. Shani, it's Bourgeois. It's the shoes named by your name, right?
Correct. So I designed a shoe with Bourgeois dance shoes. So when Bourgeois started her line, oh my God, I don't even know what year was that, but she was trying to actually promote her company, and obviously, what's the better way to introduce the dance shoe company to the scene with all the names, the big names, having their own personal shoe. So she approached me, Grisel, Melissa, Georgette, Karel Flores, and many more now I can remember. But we all design our own shoes. So this is a shoe. I love gold. My favorite color is yellow and gold. So I designed like a golden brown shoes. Those are the colors I always go with. And then I designed it at the same color in silver. So just glitter and shine. That's all my thing. And it was really beautiful shoe. And I'm wearing it in that video that you just showed. So yeah.
Are you wearing high heels on your average life? I mean, because of course, yes, and because it's. I mean, dancers and sportsmen usually feel pain and problems with the ankles because you're dancing a lot and on the high heels. And how do you keep your feet or legs in a healthy state? I mean, do you have special remedies, or what can you recommend to the dancers?
So I wish I had, but this is the thing. Now, when I'm a little older, I have a bunch of injuries that happen not because of the heels, but they happen because of just repetition of dance and not being really like careful. Let's say with the warm up and the cool down. It's not because of the heels. I'm always wearing high heels. I'm always making sure that the heels I'm wearing are very comfortable and very supportive and very how would I say it, that they won't damage my dancing. I mean, shoes hurts, period. Like high heels hurts. If you dance on a high heel for 5-6 hours in a social, your feet will swollen. Así, like regardless, right? But I'm always trying to find the shoes that have the most support, that has the most cushion, that process will not go to the worst that it can be. So my remedies nowadays is I'm making a lot of like ice baths. I'm putting my feet in ice. I'm making sure I'm putting creams and massage. I don't know if you can hear me because my headphones just died. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm just gonna. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Everything is fine.
My headphone just died. It's okay. So I'm putting a lot of.
It's okay.
I'll just be closer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay like this.
So I'm putting. I put a lot of creams. I put arnica creams, and I'm gonna charge it. Maybe I'll put it on in just a second. And okay.
It's life, so
that charges fast.
The magic of life, the magic of life introduces that this is a real thing, you know. So even in this scene, it's even. I think it's even
better. A little like funny, so they die faster than usual. But anyways, so I put Epsom salt. I put creams, arnica creams. I make sure that I take care of them. I get pedicures. I get massages. I get acupuncture to make the blood rush and flow. So I make all of this stuff to make sure that my feet are intact, and just taking care of my body, you know, and in general. But I always wear high heels, and when I don't need to wear high heels, now that I'm older, I don't. I used to always wear heels or like platform, or now that I'm a little older, I'm like, if I can go on flats most of the day, then I would. There's no need for me to be. I love sneakers too, so in general, I just love sneakers. So I wear a lot of sneakers regardless. But at nighttime, I always wear heels. I always wear high heels. But it's just taking care of your body.
I wanted to ask you, taking into account that you're a professional dancer and this is your job and the legs, Of course, the whole body is like your instrument, right? Do you have any strict restrictions? Like, for example, you are not skiing or you're not skating because, not to. Do you have something that you will not make because you are taking care and worrying about your.
Like I'm scared to do things that I know I'm gonna mess up, because I'm very, very clumsy, and I know if I'll like try ice skating, or I don't know, like general just skating, or even like sometimes hiking to crazy places, or I know I will be able to hurt myself, and there's no way. For example, I don't do CrossFit. I know
Yeah.
CrossFit is really not good for dancers. It's very, very intense and strong, and it can actually, you can get injured if you do it wrong. Like I love to go to the gym and I like to work out. So I think as far as like posture and the way to do things, I'm able to do things right. But because the intensity sometimes is so fast that sometimes by doing something so fast, you can pull a muscle or do something off, and I just don't want to take that risk. So
Yeah.
CrossFit or like really, really
Parachuting, 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 parachuting,
Huh? Yes.
parachuting.
No, nope.
Uh, now I would like to move to the topic of the competition among the artists, dancers. I know that you won the first place in the competition, LA Top Salsa Female competition.
Yeah.
So, do you like to participate? I mean, maybe not now, but before. Did you
Yeah.
like to participate in competition? And what do you think about competition as fact among the dancers? And like artists compete with each other, not just on the stage, but I mean in general. It's artistic intrigues.
So I think competition can be an amazing tool to push you to another level. I think competition can be very healthy if it's being done right. I don't love competing. I love judging. I don't love competing just because I haven't done it enough to say if I like it. The one time I competed in LA, the one you said I won, I enjoyed it because it was like a rush of adrenaline, and it made me like it was a different feeling from performing. It was like I have to go on stage and I cannot mess up. I have to deliver, and it has to be in specific categories that I've been judged by. So that was a different aspect of performing, and I really like that. I haven't competed since then, and I would really like to compete. So I mean, that's kind of on my goal list for the next couple of years, maybe the next year or two, to maybe compete either with a company or a partner, or even as a solo artist. I would love to compete in the competitions we have now in the salsa community. I also think sometimes the competition, it depends. It can be a little bit political, and the only thing that I'm hesitating to compete is because. Hold on 1 second. 1 second.
Yep.
Just talking. Sorry. So I'm saying that sometimes I'm hesitate to compete because I feel like sometimes the competition is not 100% genuine or 100%. I feel like sometimes a lot of it is political, and I wish it wasn't. So unfortunately, sometimes it is. So that's the only thing that I feel like. It depends again which competition, but it can be. So I feel like when people choose to compete, sometimes they just want to get a trophy, or they want to get the title. So they choose different competition, but not necessarily the one that actually going to make them grow as dancers. So I feel like if you want to go and be competitive and win a title, choose the competition that will actually push you to another level, that will make you work, that will make you provide the quality of performance that you need to provide, and then you can win or not. But regardless, you will get better. So I feel like I like that we have that in the salsa world. I just feel like it should be stayed in the standard of a competition and not just like a congress with points, if that makes sense.
I wanted to tell you that I really admire your energy, and you are not only concentrated on one style like salsa, you are a universal dancer. So you shared the stage besides numerous dance partners on the salsa scene, you share the stage with the top world, famous stars, pop stars. As far as I know, you were dancing, right? In the dancing cruise with Pitbull, Marc Anthony. You were also performing on Jennifer Lopez's birthday.
Yeah.
So being surrounded by really top stars, how did you feel? That did you even think that it would happen in your life? As it's a picture of you, Jennifer Lopez. And what do you think about the star sickness, or so-called star, disease, when people are like so much into their fame, especially in the artist world? So what do you think about? Did you ever feel a little bit, because a lot of artists pass this. Even Super Mario told me, well, it was sometimes when at some point in my career, I felt something like, but then it just passed away, thank God.
Yeah. Can you hear me? I just put my head.
Yeah.
Oh, but I don't hear you. So can you hear me?
Yeah, but I hear you.
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna take it off.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I was just trying to give it
So I like football.
Oh, hold on.
Yes.
And here we go.
Yeah, we go.
I never felt that. When I met J-Lo, I was definitely dying inside. I was like, ah! But outside, I was calm. Because the idea is that in the end of the day, you work. That's your job. We're dancers. Our goals is to dance with the people that we look up to, the people that we like, the artists that we adore them because of their music, because of their appearance, because of their dancing, whatever it is. And every dancer's goal is to dance with like a bigger artist, right? One of the artists that you like. I love their music. I wish I could dance with them and travel the world with them. So definitely when I danced with like J-Lo, like Pitbull is one of them, I was very, very excited. But on the outside, you can't show that because they hired you as a dancer. So now you're part of the production. Now you're part of the chain. And you can't look a professional. You can't look like a Star Trek. You can't be like a star. You can't look like a fan. So I've never had that behavior, but I definitely was very, very excited on the inside. But then, you have to act professional. You have to know when to ask to take a picture. I've worked so many jobs that I was dying to take pictures with the person I was working with, and I didn't get the opportunity. Like Marc Anthony, I never had the opportunity to take a picture with him, even though I danced with him for him one of the show he did on NBC, Good Morning America, and I was dancing, but I didn't take any pictures with him. And we've talked to him backstage. Gloria, now you're showing Gloria Stefan, that's a whole different thing because I was doing the Broadway show and I was part of her story, telling her story.
Yeah.
And she was actually very, very accessible to us and very human and very down to earth. So that was a different story. But there's so many artists you just have to be thankful and grateful that you got the opportunity, but also know how to act, and that you can't. It comes with the field. It comes with the experience. You can't act like a beginner, basically. You can't act like it's the first time in the rodeo, even if it is.
But right now, on the picture on the screen, we were seeing these pictures with Gloria Stefan. You are participating.
Yeah.
So you passed the casting to the Broadway show on your feet. Could you tell us, especially people from Europe, maybe people from the United States, they know, maybe some people just had an opportunity to watch it, but people from Europe, and we were not able to watch it. So tell about this, please.
Yes. So On Your Feet was it is incredible part of my life. On Your Feet, I always wanted to do Broadway. That's the reason why I moved to New York City to begin with. On Your Feet, I was able to audition because of one of my mentors, her name is Maria Torres, not Eddie's wife, another Maria Torres O'Connor. She was my mentor, and she kind of guided me through since I kind of moved to New York City. She's in the theater world. She's in the Broadway world. She's incredible dancer, and choreographer nowadays and director. But she called me into the audition. I auditioned and booked the show. So at first I did a 3 months on the Broadway cast, which was incredible. And then I replaced a lady, a girl, a dancer who got injured. And then when she came back, the production switched me to be a swing. So basically, a swing is a dancer who learns everybody's, all the female dancers' job, and you basically on a standby. And once of the dancers like injured or hurt or just like sick or not showing up or something happens during the show, you jump in and right away take over the track. So I always had to be on a standby. I always had to know all the female tracks. I had to remember and be able to adapt and dance with all the partners of the cast and be able to remember all the staging and the spacing and all that. So I did that for a year and a half. So that was on Broadway. And then after the company announced the first national tour that went all over the United States, and I was cast as a track, as a dancer. And that was an amazing, amazing experience. We traveled for a year and 8 months all over United States with a beautiful cast of beautiful, amazing, talented dancers and artists and actors and all that. And then our music, the band members were, I think it was 5 or 6, 7 of the original Sound Machine, Gloria, original Sound Machine members. So those are the people who wrote the music, who played the music all over the world with her. So you can already imagine the quality of sound and the energy we had on a daily basis on stage, which was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Really opened the door to that theater Broadway world, which now I'm pursuing even more. And I want to continue that when I have my foot in. I want to continue because this type of performance, type of shows are a whole different type of work and caliber. And I'm just amazed by it and very attractive to it. So I definitely want to continue that.
I'm sure you are a fan of Gloria Estefan as a singer, as many people who love Latin American culture. But besides Gloria Estefan, which artist, which music do you like? What is your favorite, maybe salsa band or salsa singer?
So my favorite salsa band is Los Van Van and El Gran Combo de Puerto Rico. Those are my favorite two. As artists, I love so many. I love Isaac Delgado. I love Gilberto Santa Rosa. I love.
Do you dancing with Oliver?
El Canario, of course. El Canario is one of them, the tops too. I dance with him as well. I dance with I dance with a lot of them, you know. I danced in Ismael Miranda 40th anniversary that was in Lehman College in New York City, and all the salsa legends were there, and it was just yeah, exactly. Willie Colon, we have Joe Feliciano, so we had so many people. It was just incredible. So, I mean, it's hard to say. Yes, all the photos. Who I really love to dance with. One specific person, I don't know. But as far as like the commercial world, let's say, of course, I would love to dance with J-Lo. I would love to dance with, I guess, Shakira. I would love to dance with Usher. I would love to dance with Chris Brown, like people like that. I really do. I don't know. I love to dance with Lady Gaga. There's so many. So hard to say because I really love music in general. I love different artists. So I would really anybody.
But I would like to tell the people who are watching us to write a comment because we are coming to our final part because we can speak with Shani, I'm sure, also the whole day for hours. But
part two.
Yeah, we need to record the part 2, and you will also share how you spend time in Puerto Rico. So we need to prepare the pictures from this beautiful location.
Yes.
So I want to ask you about So we were talking about the music, but you are, for me, the real example of the person who really make the dreams come true with the strong belief. Because according to the project you participate in, I'm sure very soon you will dance with all these
I hope so.
people you enumerated. So I wish you
Thank
to
you so much.
to get.
I mean, that's really what you put your heart in and your mind to, you know, because like in the end of the day, nothing is gifted to you. You really have to chase and follow your dreams, follow your gods, and go against all odds. I mean, for me, sometimes sometimes I always feel it was a weird sentence. Sometimes I always feel, but sometimes I feel like it's like I'm not doing enough. Like I'm not doing like I'm not chase like I'm not check marking all the things that I want to do. Like I'm so behind of things that I set up as goals. And then I have to stop myself and remind myself how far have I became and made it, you know, like from Israel, like what are the chances that I will be doing what I'm doing and made it this deep into the salsa community and be representing a whole culture that is really not my culture, but I feel like I'm living it. And I think like in the end of the day is really how you embed yourself within whatever you want to do. So if you want to become anything that you put out there as a goal, you have to become that person. You have to become that goal. You have to embed yourself within anything that you want to do. You have to just 100% go and always think there's no plan B. You can't go into something saying, oh, I'm going to try this. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like whatever, that mentality already, you know, you're gonna have like an exit. If you be like, I'm going for it and I'm going for it against all odds, it will happen because you just planted that seed of like, there's no plan B, there's no exit. And of course, there can be, you know, curves and adjustments, but if you really want to achieve something, you can. And I think that's always the thought that guided me through my entire life. And, you know, so far it's worked. So even things that I wasn't like planned as a goal, but I was just like focused on like I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna move to New York and dance, and stuff just start going. Then it just a chain reaction, you know, because it's the mind state.
So you, beside dancing, already acting in the movies, Warner Brother movies.
Yes, and In the Heights, the movie, it's coming out next year.
Yeah, but can you tell your particular role or your participation in that movie?
Yeah, The Heights is a Broadway show that is one of my favorite, if not the most favorite Broadway show of all times. And I've always been, I watched it like 7 million times on Broadway with the original cast, which was Lin Manuel Miranda and other people. And I used to sing the soundtrack all the time in my car, in my headphones, on the train, everywhere. And I also auditioned for it. I made it really, really far, but I didn't book it, unfortunately. And it's always been on my, it still is on my go-to to do. You know, still want to do one of the productions on the theater productions. But they had Lin Manuel Miranda came out with a movie, and I was on the tour when the casting notice came out, and I sent in a tape, and then they brought me to the. I mean, they asked me to come to the callback, and I flew into LA. I did the callback, and then I booked it, and I had to fly back to New York constantly because you had to be a New York local. So I kept flying back to New York to do the movie, and it was just that was my first movie. So to see that type of production again, that type of caliber of work, that type of professionalism was just something so brand new and amazing. And I was just, it's so amazing. It's gonna be so special. That movie is so special. That story is so special. But that movie is gonna be off the chain.
Did you dream to be an actor, for example?
I never.
And
So I'm dancing in it. I'm not acting, but I always been wanted to participate, but I never really thought it will become a thing. I always said I'm gonna be a dancer first. I'm a dancer first. I'm a dancer first. But now that I've been through it, then there's definitely a part of me that say, oh, I want to start taking acting classes. I want to start investing a little bit more onto that side because it's very interesting and it's like a mini shift career not as completely shift career, but it's another side of aspect to the career that can only enhance what I'm already doing. And it's definitely something that I'm interested in and want to pursue now in the near future.
Uh, Thank you very much. Really, I'm
So,
impressed. I'm sure people also who are watching us who will be able to watch the recorded version.
yeah.
They will be impressed a lot because for me, the first question is how much time do you ever rest? I mean, how many hours do you sleep to be able to
Oh,
to make everything?
to be honest, when I used to be younger, I didn't sleep at all a lot. I barely slept. I used to sleep like 3, 4 hours a night, sometimes 5, 6. Um, but now I'm trying to really make it a point to sleep 7 hours to feel good. Like I need at least 7, 8 hours to be like, okay, and of course there's still days that I go and I sleep like 4 hours and I'm functioning on that 4 hours. Like there's so many days that if I fly to a job, like recently I flew to a job in LA and I flew a red eye from New York to LA and I packed that night. So I slept like 3, 4 hours and I made it to LA for 8 hours rehearsal day. And I made it, I made it the 8 hours rehearsal day, but in the end of that day, I was dead. So it's not healthy. So I always try to make sure that I give myself time to rest and recuperate and my body to be able to really recharge itself because it's so important. It's so important for your mental state, your heart, your body, your muscles, obviously, but really your mind too.
I ask you about. I don't want to stop. We are in the final part of the interview. I don't want to stop a lot on this issue of pandemic. A lot of people talk about this in the news. So the press, mass media is like overweight with all this information. But still, I would like to ask you, how do you, accept these challenges in life? Are you easy for, different changes? Is it difficult for you to, like change your life completely? Because now a lot of people need even to change their profession, especially artists. So
Yeah.
how do you, personally can get over all this negative influence of the current situation?
Yeah.
And to accept this challenge, what can you recommend to people? What is your remedy?
Uh, to be honest, I feel like for me, it's still hard. I'm going through it. Everybody's going through it. We all like went through the worst year of our lives, let's say. But I think I always try to look at the positive side of life as far as I always trying to say, okay, I try to always react quick, meaning this pandemic started, right? Let's say, or this change happened, or this breakup. I just broke up with my boyfriend and it ripped my heart into pieces, and I have to perform and act like I'm happy and blah, blah, blah. All these things always changes, but I always try to say like, this is the situation. I have to react to it. Yes, I can have my moments and cry. I can have my moments and marinate with it. My best advice, and it might sound really stupid, but this is the best advice, is really to be in your feelings. And what I mean by that is that if you're sad, be sad. Allow yourself to be sad. If you're worried, be worried. Allow yourself to be worried. If you're happy, be happy. Allow yourself to celebrate yourself and be happy. But deal with the exact emotion that you feel, because then you're not pushing anything to the side. You're dealing with what you're feeling at the moment. And once you're done with it, you're moving on and you know how to deal with it. So if I'm sad, I'm sad. I'm going to allow myself to sit in my house and cry all day. And then the next day I'll get up and I was like, okay, I was sad yesterday. Now I'm still sad. I'm still worried. I'm still a little bit stressed, but I'm going to start moving day by day, step by step. So if today my win, and I give myself credit for the small wins, if my win today was get up and work out and go back to sleep, then this is my small win. I got up, I worked out. Okay, so what if I'm back in bed, but I worked out? It's better than not doing that at all. If it's a win of like texting a person back that you're like, I don't want to talk to anybody, I want to isolate myself, but then you texted your friend back and you talk to your friend, that's a small win. So you start having to give yourself credit. And that's how I deal with it. I deal with it momentarily, day by day, and actually hour by hour. And I give myself the credit of things that I've done and haven't done. And if I haven't done something, I also give myself credit and I say, you know what? That's okay. Why? Because I feel bad. And that's okay to feel bad because you know what? That's going to pass and tomorrow is going to feel sad. And I always, always, always try to do what my heart asks for. And again, it's just being grounded and genuine with yourself. And I feel like the most you are grounded, genuine, and aligned with yourself, it's easier for you to make decision and pick yourself up later on because you are not trying to pretend. You're not trying to act like things are okay. You're not trying to act. And I'm always been trying to guide myself with my truth. So when times are rough, I'm always still guided by my truth. So then I motivate myself and it's really hard to explain in words, but it's just somehow because you're so true to yourself, things just somehow align and you out of it. And all of a sudden you take a step back and you're like, oh hold up, I've been okay for 2 days. Oh hold a minute, I'm okay. Okay, so if I'm okay, let's go. Like, and then you do something, and then it's constantly this, and that's how I deal with it. Really, I take it day by day, and I'm really trying to connect to what I am, and I'm really, really trying to do things that makes me feel good. Sometimes like it can be something silly. For example, a friend can tell me, let's go out, let's have a drink. And I don't really feel it. But in my head, I'm saying, I should go out. I should get a drink. I should be around people. But I really don't feel it. Then I don't go. And sometimes I'm like, I stay home and I'm like, oh, I feel so good being by myself and being home because I just recharge myself. And that's the most important part to lifting yourself up and feeling motivated and happy in times like this, especially.
Okay, thank you very much. We have several questions. I
Okay.
need to read them. First question
I'm
from
going to put my headphones.
Ekaterina. Ekaterina, my very good fan of my program. She is from Belgium, is watching us. People from Belgium giving
Hello,
feedback.
Maria.
So, Ekaterina Maria.
Hello, Belgium.
And the question is, do you have a dream collaboration? Probably she means salsa collaboration.
A dream collaboration. Wow, that's a crazy good question. I don't know. I think I kind of like my dream. Like I think I kind of check mark my dream collaboration. But I think what I would really love one day to have is all the really strong ladies, females, to create a routine together. Not a Congress routine that we do like one project in a Congress that you learn it really quick and do. No, like actually rehearse a show and create kind of like a show and have all the really strong, inspiring women dance together. That will be a really dope dream collaboration. But I don't have a specific company or a dancer that I'm like, oh, I'm dying to dance with this person. But because I appreciate so many people, I would love to dance with a lot of people. But I think my go-to big people were Johnny and Eddie, and you know.
Okay.
So
And the guy, Patrick, he is asking another question. He says lots of love for Shani. And he says, did Shani try salsa Cali?
I have. I actually in the show that we were doing on your feet, we had um like the Colombian boys, the little tiny kids, they were so cute. And their family, they're dancing Colombian, and their family used to come, and their family and their teacher used to come to the show, and and they taught us. Oh my God, my headphones died away. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So they were teaching me Colombian salsa, but I never really danced it as far as like professionally. But they just taught me some steps, and I used to do the steps. It's not easy. It really is not.
And I have a very, very special comment for you from
Okay.
Mr. Jimmy Bosch.
Yes, Jimmy.
Shani, you are powerful, outrageous, sexy, intense, talented, and you have a contagious, positive energy always.
Oh my God, Jimmy. Jimmy, first of all, sending you tons of love and kisses. Jimmy Bosch, is a legendary musician, and I am so honored and blessed and grateful that he's a very close friend of mine. And I always like, Jimmy loves to dance. Jimmy is, I feel like we share same spirit, because Jimmy hears music and he plays and he dances, and like I just love his energy. And every time I had an encounter with Jimmy, I would go front row to his concert and just sit there and just watch him like vibe and dance my ass off as well. So, and then I had the pleasure and the opportunity to dance with Jimmy and Eddie on stage. I think it was San Antonio. Jimmy said he wants to learn one of our pachanga routines, and he did. And then that video is on YouTube actually, and we shared the stage, and it was just an amazing experience. But Jimmy is really one of the musicians that I look up to. His music, the way he plays, the way he loves, he is the one who has his heart on the stage. Put it there, and he plays like that, his heart out, and it shows and it rubs on you. It rubs on you when you hear it and you cannot move. And obviously, his music is Otra Oportunidad is one of my favorite songs in the world, and I always use it in all my classes, and I use it when I listen to it in my car. And tell Jimmy.
And I had an amazing interview with me. I had a great honor and pleasure to have Mr. Jimmy Bosch in my program. So, guys, if you didn't have an opportunity to watch it live, you can go to the channel and watch this interview. Mr. Jimmy Bosch was playing live trombone. So please go and watch that interview, guys, if you didn't have an opportunity to watch it live. My best regards to Mr. Jimmy Bosch as well. Thank you very much. And please stay healthy and write more songs. Mr. Jimmy Bosch released a new song, by the way, guys, dedicated to this current situation. So
yes.
And I have several more questions to close up. I don't want to do this, but I understand that you want to probably swim in the amazing swimming pool to stand near the waterfall.
It's okay. I can answer a few more questions, and then we can finish.
So, your dreams, your maybe some dreams that you didn't realize, but you still dream of. Can you share some of them?
Dreams that I didn't achieve yet.
Yes, and you still probably you too.
Yeah, so I've been on Broadway, but I've been on Broadway, but I really would like to book another Broadway show. So that's like my one biggest dream right now. Another dream that I have is actually to travel with an artist. I haven't done that, like travel with a big like artist all over the world, because I've traveled like with on your feet, but it was in the USA. I'd like to travel like outside of the USA with a big artist or a big show or a Broadway show. Another dream that I have is like I actually want to open my own Pilates studio, which is a whole another topic. But I want to open a Pilates studio that will be very targeted to injuries and help a lot of dancers recover from injuries and help them understand how to maintain their body not to be injured. That's another dream, a big dream that I have. And that's basically it. Just continuing inspiring.
And Anthony is singing for you right here. Vivir mi vida. So Jimmy Bosch, by the way, replied, the highlight of my mini dance career was with Shani. I would say not mini dance career, no, that he is performing. So Jimmy, not mini dance career.
We have to do it again, Jimmy. We have to do another one.
Yeah, solo poro. So, and my final question is, what is absolute happiness to you?
Love. Love is happiness for me. I think when you love, and it can be any type of love, it can be self-love, it can be love to your family, it can be love to your other partner, it can be love to your animal, to your pet. I think really knowing what love is happiness. I feel like when I'm loving, I love to love. It sounds so corny, but I love to love. I think when I'm sharing my love, my passion, my happiness, that I'm like complete with myself, and I have some passion for something, and I share it with even with another person that shares that right back with me, that is happiness. That is true happiness. Really. Knowing what like feeling the feeling of love.
I'd like to thank you very, very much. I'm
Thank
very
you so
grateful
much.
that you found time and a place where you could go live. A
Because I was
beautiful
supposed to be in
place.
New York already, but I decided to stay.
Actually, I watched your stories and I see that you are not in New York City. I was like a little bit worried
Sorry,
that maybe you are somewhere near the waterfall and there is no
I was.
connections.
And then
So
get back to talk to you.
thank you very much,
Thank
guys.
you all so much.
Unfortunately, we do not have much time because I'm sure we could more and more
We'll
continue
do another.
talking. Yeah, we will make next editions. So I would like to thank you.
Thank
To wish you to have a great
you.
vacation. Right now, you're on vacation, as far as I
Yes,
understand.
now I'm on vacation. That ends Tuesday. I'm going back to New York, and then I'm going to go back to teaching all my online classes. If you guys are interested, just follow me and DM me, and I'll give you all the information. I'm back to business because I kind of took off a little bit from here when I come here. But I would love to connect with you all. If you have any questions, you can also ask me personally. And again, thank you so much for this. It was such a great experience.
Thank you very much, and guys, you will be able to watch it in the recorded version because I understand people sometimes busy. Some people already work. Some people are not at their laptops right now. But thanks to the IT facilities, we can watch the recorded version. So subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Enjoy your vacation. Stay healthy. Best regards to your friends and family. And guys, we will see each other on our next editions with our next guest.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Olga. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Shani, thank you very much. Она вышла. Она сразу вышла. Серхио, она сразу